Our educational system itself was really, I mean, it was incredibly, before I got here, it was weaponized like everything else in our government. Under the last administration, extreme ideologies such as critical race theory and transgender insanity were forced upon our children.
Right, so the first statement, the educational system was weaponized. I mean, of course it was. Like, every single educational system in every nation ever is weaponized. And it makes sense if you're thinking about it. Who pays for it? Now, some people will retardedly say the taxpayer, and it's not completely incorrect, but the reality is it's the government that pays for it, right? Like, the government takes money from people, and when it pays the teacher, like, the teacher doesn't feel as if it got paid by the people. It feels as if it got paid by the government. And of course, if the government pays, then the government gets to set the agenda. And the government aren't just random people. The government is the party that has won the last elections. And so, of course, they want the children to believe whatever ideology the political party has in order to make sure that when the children get 18, they vote for that political party. And so the teachers are going to do everything in their power in order to indoctrinate the kids into the governing mentality. Now, in most nations, like, most parties are actually struggling to control the schooling system. In the United States, for some reason, the right wing hasn't done this, or when they did it, they were incredibly fucking cringe. George Bush has done it by trying to push intelligent design into schools. And what that ended up was to get kids to absolutely despise Protestants. They thought they're mentally ill. Now the left are doing the same shit by trying to push LGBT ideology in school. And so you have a generation that absolutely hates the Democrats because they're thinking they're mentally ill. In my opinion, like, preventing them from pushing LGBT in schools is actually a bad thing. Like, the more people actually pull their kids out of schools, or the more kids are exposed to the LGBT shit, the more likely they are to hate the left. But, of course, Donald Trump is saying that he doesn't want LGBT to be pushed anymore, and he's going to decolonize the schools. Okay, fair enough. But let's look at something else that's interesting. The teachers themselves. The teachers themselves will always be in favor of big government. Like, it doesn't matter if it's left-wing or right-wing. In the United States, right-wing allegedly is for cutting government spending. Which means that the left is the only political party acceptable for teachers. Why? Because they're being paid by the government, and so they want to make more money. I mean, think about it this way, right? Do you guys remember COVID? Because I remember COVID. Like, during COVID, the schools were shut down, and the teachers had to do Zoom calls. So in other words, they were actually paid for staying at home. What incentive would the teachers have to reopen the schools? None whatsoever, right? And so, like, there were cases where school teachers would basically say they feel unsafe if the schools are open, and they were actually caught in vacation on beaches. In other words, they lie. Oh, goodness gracious, could you imagine that, right? So, like, they felt unsafe to go to school, but they felt extremely safe during COVID to go, especially into nations that didn't require a mask, in order to have, like, a little bit of a vacation there. And then they started mocking and ridiculing parents that were actually concerned that their kids are getting their development stunted because they have to stay at home all the time. And so the teacher started mocking and ridiculing those parents on Facebook. Do you remember that? Because I remember that. But again, like, the reason they're doing this is because of incentives. It's not that they're evil people. They just want to make more money and work less, just like everyone else. But, like, for the school teachers, they have an opportunity to do that because the government is paying them. And so the gravy train seems to be running dry. Think about it this way, right? Like, LGBT shit is the easiest thing in the world to teach LGBT shit. Like, it actually requires no IQ. You can get anyone, you can get an Aborigines person to teach LGBT stuff, right? Like, you get them to read what they have to say, and they can say it. A 6-year-old can teach LGBT stuff, right? And someone gets paid for doing that. Like, why the fuck wouldn't they advocate to do it more? Like, do you know how difficult it is to actually teach math or physics? Like, that actually takes a lot of effort, right? But to teach LGBT shit, cheapest job ever. You know those drag queens story hour that we see? Do you think they do it for free? Like, no, taxpayer money, if it's a public school, has to pay for the drag queen to move her fucking ass all the way to the school. Like, when she strip dances or whatever, she makes money, right? So, like, when you prevent her from strip dancing, you have to pay her. You have to compensate her. Or him. Whatever the fuck, right? And so, like, there's a lot of cash involved that America doesn't want to talk about it. They only like to talk about morality. But when you start talking about cash, you would actually hurt them a lot more. Because people would start being like, how much are we paying for this shit? And if they actually see the numbers, they would freak the fuck out. And so the whole thing with transgender people are upset now because, you can't push trans ideology in public schools. So let me get this straight, right? If you have a gay child, and you're actually trying to make them straight, that's gay conversion therapy. In slang, not the actual thing, right? But like if a teacher was to constantly try to get a gay child to become straight, that would be horrible, right? If you have like a trans child and the teacher would try to convince them that maybe they're cis, again, that would be horrible. But the opposite way around was clearly encouraged, right? If you tell a tomboy that maybe they're not a girl, and they would try to crack the egg, apparently like there was no problem against it. And there were even schools that had policies to not tell the parents. How fucked up is that? Why does it surprise you that in such a system, the parents would vote for literally the political party that would put an end to it? My goodness, like, oh, it turns out that you're actually in a democracy. And it turns out that people can actually get pretty pissed the fuck off. And the Biden administration freaked out because, again, like the schools were genuinely indoctrination circles. And so when parents started mobilizing politically, the Biden administration called them terrorists. Did you guys remember that? Because I remember that, right? So, like, this is why we're here. Like, people act as Donald Trump is evil regarding trans rights. Donald Trump, in his first term, was actually very supportive of the LGBT community. Like, he even was having a rainbow flag. Do you guys remember that? Again, I remember it. He had the rainbow flag. And he basically said he doesn't care about trans women. They can use whatever bathroom they want. Why? Because his voting base at the time genuinely did not care about this. And the reason they did not care about this is that it wasn't so bad, right? But the activists were very greedy. They didn't like a little bit of gravy. They wanted all the gravy. And so then people rose up and they legitimately voted for Donald Trump in order to end this madness. The thing is, it doesn't cost him anything to end it. In fact, he actually saves money. So of course he's going to end it. Like, out of all the political promises he gave, like fixing the economy, releasing the Epstein files, like, well, whatever other promises he made, this one is the actual cheapest to fulfill, especially before the midterms. I would fucking advise him to do it the same, like, don't do this at the beginning of the presidency. Wait closer to the midterms so that you can have, more people vote for you. And it turns out that, yeah, like, this is exactly what he did. And so all these activists that are upset, the thing that they should be upset about is how greedy they used to be. If they would have left things exactly the same way that it was in Trump's first presidency, nobody would have complained. But they had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Well, hope it was worth it, right? Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, we'll see each other in the comment section. Take care.